Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Art of Awesomeness podcast, episode 73, with your hosts, Christiani and Adrian.
Nice. That's solid.
Episode 73. Hello, folks. We have a lot to talk about. Oh, so much to talk about, Adrian. Wow, why are you so quiet?
Oh, I thought you were gonna go into the national days. I was just gonna let you do your spiel.
Wow. Okay, wow. Anyway, Adrian spoiled it. National days. I wanted to shake it up a little bit, but I guess we'll just do national days first. National days. Happy National Insomnia Awareness Day.
Because that's definitely a happy day, right?
Yeah, when you can't sleep, just be aware. Don't do anything. Just be aware that you're awake.
Yeah, don't actually try and fix it. You just have to know that you're
Someone on bed being like, I'm aware.
Good for you.
National
You just get a little
Kahlua
gold
Day.
star. Canoe Day.
Kahlua.
Kahlua.
Recognized
What the
rich
fuck?
cream coffee liquor that also stirs up great many delicious desserts. Ooh, alcoholic beverage adds to cocktails and adult favorites desserts equally well. Flavored or favorite? I can't read. To celebrate, you may want to use Kahlua, a coffee-flavored rum-based liquor, to flavor your ice cream or another dessert such as cheesecake or cake. It also tastes great from coffee, hot chocolate, creamy cocktails as a shot or on the rocks, folks. So
Nice.
drink Kahlua Day. Kahlua. Next, National Retro Day. Old stuff is what we're celebrating today. Retro things, vintage things, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and 2000s. Everything these days is retro, so go
Basically.
celebrate it. Next, my favorite day. Here's a hint. Do you know what it is?
Kool-Aid? Punch? Like fruit punch?
Close.
Water bottle day?
National Strawberry Day. Let's go.
Oh, I thought that was cherry. My bad.
It's strawberry, watermelon, cherry,
okay.
orange.
Okay.
But it was close. National Polar Bear Day. Our last
nice.
National Day, National Polar Bear Day. Save the polar bears.
Yeah. Polar bears. They're kind of dangerous. That's the polar bear impression for the day.
There's 7.
Wasn't there that one like activist girl in that Goosebumps movie who was like, "Save the polar bear"? Or was that the movie?
What?
Or was that some other one?
What do you think of?
We went to go watch a movie, I think, one time. And there was this activist girl who was like, "Save the polar bears," and she was like outside of school with a sign. I don't know.
Oh, the middle school movie.
Yeah, that one.
That one. Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah. So those are national days. News? Should we get into other news or should we dive?
Yeah, I guess I'll get this off right at the beginning because this isn't what the podcast topic is about. We have another topic that's like kind of related.
We can do a quarter,
but
news stuff.
Pretty much, we just want to say that at least I was actually surprised to find out that Christian wasn't totally up to speed on what was going on in Ukraine. But I know that obviously not everyone is like, paying attention to it at the moment. But we just want to, I guess, bring some awareness to it, just so if you don't know what's going on in Ukraine, prayers to Ukraine because they're getting invaded pretty bad right now by the Russian military. So pretty crazy stuff going on over there right now. Just transpired over the last week, or at least I just found out about it earlier this week. And so obviously there's not much that we can do about it other than spread some awareness. Obviously on our small platform, we're not reaching many people to make that big of an impact or anything like that. But I think it is just important for us. And also this podcast, I think I've said it before. Like I never really wanted this podcast to be like a current events podcast because I want the topics to be a bit more timeless, just so that people, no matter what kind of time period they're in, can always like refer to just some solid truths and stuff like that. So we're not really going to delve into all of that really, but I just wanted to bring it up and spread some awareness on it. Just get educated on the matter, so that you know what's going on. over there in the world right now, because there's some pretty crazy stuff, and I think it's better for us to be aware about what's going on than to be just kind of with a blindfold on when things are happening in the world that could have an effect on us later down in the future. So just wanted to put that little opener right there, praying for the people of Ukraine and what they're going through at the moment. So yeah, that was all.
Adrian told me about it. Because I'm not the one that always I like all my feed all the time, so I don't really check that often. But I was surprised when he told me. I knew there was stuff going on with like World War III and everything. He was talking about like another.
It's
World
funny.
War.
It's almost like people want World War III at this point. Like there was like, when is it gonna happen? You know? Like it's not even one of those things where like, guys, not World War III. They're like, when is it happening? You know, just
World War III.
World
That was the
War
only
III,
one I know of, and then Adrian brought that up. So yeah, it's good to have friends that know what's happening. Right.
Yeah, I typically don't watch the news either, and I didn't even find out via the news or anything like that. I just found out through research, because I research countries all the time, and so I just like was looking up like the Baltic regions and stuff, and then that came up, and I was like,
that came up that they're getting invaded. Uh-oh.
Well,
if you know anybody
you
in Ukraine, if you know anybody in Ukraine or Russia, I think we have listeners. Oh, we don't have any listeners in Russia or Ukraine.
We do have listeners in Russia, I do think.
Okay, I was gonna say I thought we had one in Turkey or something.
No, not yet.
All right,
Turkey, shout out.
If the one person or group in Russia listening, hope you're doing okay. Let us know if you need anything.
Yeah,
Down below.
It's not like the Russian people are the aggressors; it's the Russian government. So you know.
Still, if there's people out there that's like, I don't like this.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Let us know. We're not therapists, but we can help.
No, not even close.
We're pretty close. We're pretty gosh darn close. This is the best you're gonna get in this day and age.
You got a food service worker and a former autism like technician, dude. Like, hey, you need your problem solved? We got these two guys right here. I mean, this is all we could get, you know.
Speaking of two guys, Adrian, want to tell them what we did?
Oh yeah, so we were gonna.
That was the worst lead on ever.
That two really, guys. Yeah, it was pretty bad, but I was just gonna kind of let it slide.
Transition.
It was the effort. I'll give you the effort. That was good. Pretty much. Again, this isn't even what the topic of the episode is. We'll get into that in a minute. Sorry for leading it on too long. But Christian and I did hang out. Obviously, I think we talked about it a little bit in the previous episode, where I went to go fly out to see Christian in Vegas, and we had a good old time. Kind of got lost in the mountains, but you know it's fine.
That's fine.
And
that was part of the adventure.
I know. We basically went on like a 6-hour hike. Actually, dude, I mapped out our hike on Google like Maps or whatever. I mapped the whole thing if you want to see it, because it's kind of wild what we did. But yeah, had a good time in Vegas. Had a good time seeing you, obviously, and seeing how you're living out there. And it was a good time, except that, you know, the last night I was there, I think we only got like 3 hours of sleep, because I think we went to bed around like 12 or 1, and I had to get up. I got up at least at like 4:30 to get ready to fly home. But I just remember falling asleep to these squirrel noises.
Scary
because
squirrel.
Of this show Christian watches. And it terrified me. I think I'm left scarred. I'm left scarred.
Almost Naked Animals, the best shows.
Yeah, ever. And I saw when I went to his condo over there, I actually saw a full episode of SpongeBob for the first time.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
Interesting.
People have this weird thing where it's like their parents didn't let them watch SpongeBob.
Yeah, I'm in that boat.
And I don't know what. I don't understand what about SpongeBob. Because Sophie was like that too, I think. Sophie says that she was not allowed to watch SpongeBob. I think it was so. And I don't understand. Andrew said that, like, mostly, like, some Filipinos I know, it's like a SpongeBob. I don't know what it is, but we had a good time. Hey, Did you eat that donut?
No, I didn't eat it. No, I gave it to Myra.
And she ate it?
She picked at it. And then she was like, "This is gross." And then, you know, she just walked off.
That makes sense. That was mostly just frosting. Well, I wasn't going to eat that.
Well, here's the thing. After going through like TSA and all that stuff, I put the donut in my backpack, and it was like smashed like this. So
Okay, for
wasn't really.
context, there's this donut shop Adrian and I went to called Pink Box. I think it's only in Vegas. And what's cool about Pink Box is that there's a variety of different donuts
Mhm.
with different
They were good.
themes and flavors. It was big, and most of them were cream filled. But there's original ones
Mm.
too. But there's this one because their mascot is this pink poo. I think it looks like a poo emoji, unless they
It's
try to
based.
make
That's
it
what it is. That's what
cotton
it is.
candy. But it's a pink poo emoji called Pinky, and that's their mascot. And there's this one donut that has a donut base, but it's like this is the donut, and then they
It has
just
like a
top it
mountain
with
of
like
frosting.
frosting, and they cover it with more frosting, and top on that you can call it Pinky because it looks like the mascot. And so I had it one time, but the first time I was like, because I don't know, it just wasn't something about it was the vibe. So I told Adrian to take it home with me because I'm not gonna eat it. And I think it was sitting there ever since we got it. It's been sitting there
It was
in the
sitting on the
box.
counter, and then eventually we put it in like this plastic bag. And I
Yeah.
literally, like, before I left, I shoved it in my backpack and then just headed off to the airport. And then, you
So
know,
it probably didn't look the same when you gave it to your little sister,
no, it did
but
not look the same. I mean, I have a funny picture of it. I might throw up on the screen so people could see. Like, I took a picture of it when it was on your counter. It's
oh,
funny.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that was fun. Good times.
Yeah, we watched
So that was
movies. We
fun.
watched The Dictator. We watched The Interview.
The
Good,
interview, the
yeah.
dictator, the interview. We got donuts, dude. It was a great time. I had a good time.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna go out there in a few weeks, so I'm excited to do an in-person episode.
Wait, but I thought you were going to SB. Isn't that where you're going?
Yeah, SB, and then we're gonna come here. So I'll be here for
Oh,
a week.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And then other news. This weekend we might have to record an earlier episode because this week I'm going to Oregon for a
Yeah.
church conference.
Oh,
That's it.
okay, got.
It's a
Is the
bizarre-
church conference like related to the church that you go to now, or is it like?
Yeah, it's the one that I told you with Zeke, some family friends that they go to, and we're going to
Oh,
Oregon.
the smaller church.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
got it.
that one. And so we're going to Oregon just for the weekend.
Hmm.
And yeah, that's it. Just for the I don't know what it's like. I haven't gone before, but it sounds like it's pretty
I mean that's a good time. I mean, I haven't been to Oregon myself, but I know it's definitely a place that I've heard looks really beautiful. Like obviously you said it's very green there and
nature,
stuff, and
green. You just breathe
you
in
know.
the air and it feels clean. Like
Yeah, so I mean, I imagine that that'd be a good time, especially with some good people. So
exactly. So that's
I mean,
it. That's it for me though.
that's basically the catch up as far as the
Do you have anything, Adrian?
what's happened. No, that was basically. I mean, that's all I've been doing. You know?
That's it. Okay,
But-
sweet. Perfect. Perfect.
Now
well,
we can get into the meat of the episode, which was your idea, Christian. This was, and it's kind of poignant considering everything that's going on right now. So
yeah, it is a good idea. Actually, to be honest, I knew, or I was telling Sophie, like, did you know this stuff happening in Ukraine? Because I couldn't get over the fact that you told me that, and I was so fixated. Like, hey, you said there's stuff going on in Ukraine, and she was like, yes, what's going on? And then with that in mind, I was like, what should we talk about? And then I think the first idea she had was to do what it would be like, how we would prepare if there was an apocalyptic event. Whether
I like
that
this
be a
topic.
zombie or just a nuclear. I don't know, because there's different demands based on.
yeah, like if it's an economic collapse, that
Atomic.
just means that like people can't buy food, and so they're just gonna start stealing stuff
Yeah.
or whatever.
And then there's a zombie apocalypse, or if it's like a nuclear waste thing, and there's like a giant atomic bomb.
So I guess this is the question: do you want to go like the fantasy route of like zombies, or do you want to go like a more plausible route, like economic collapse, invading countries and stuff like that? Like which way would you want to like approach this from?
Because we've done that whole thing about zombies before.
We
Remember
actually
that
have.
episode?
I do remember. Wait, wasn't that the episode where you had me fight Chucky?
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm just gonna kick him across the room. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's-
Okay, so let's do the economic collapse.
Okay.
Economic
So-
collapse. All right.
I guess I'll quiz this on you first then. I'll quiz this on you first. Let's say, actually, we kind of talked about this a bit when I was down there in Vegas, wasn't I?
What?
Remember we kind of had a conversation. We were watching that like zombie kid movie,
What?
the Australian movie where like there's a zombie apocalypse at the zoo.
Oh, Little Monsters.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I think we actually talked about this a little bit in Vegas. But I mean, of course, that was zombies and stuff. But let's say, Okay, I'll give you a scenario, and then you just tell
Okay.
me how you respond to it.
Let's do this. Let's
You
go.
are. Do you have any in-person classes yet?
I have two.
Okay, so let's say that you're in one of your in-person classes, and
Mhm.
your instructor is on his computer. You guys are doing some work, and then all of a sudden he says, "Hey, class,
They're both
some
girls.
big news popped up on my computer." Wait, what?
They're both women.
Yeah. Oh well, we'll just pretend it's a dude. Basically, you find out they walk up to the front of the class. They say, "Hey guys, I got an email from the staff. They said that there's this new kind of wave, I guess you could say, of coronavirus, and it is way more deadly than any of the other ones before it.
That's
I
what
mean,
they
it's
always
literally."
say.
I
I'd
know
be
it's
like,
what they
that's
always.
what they always said, Miss Phelps.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's what I'd probably say too. But let's just say in this scenario, they're not BSing, and it's actually like bad this time.
Oh
And
yeah, and I would say, show me the proof.
I like you, Christian. You're a good dude. Anyways,
Yeah,
basically
okay,
what
let's
happens
go.
is she brings this up to your attention, right? She walks up to the whole class. She's like, guys, this whole new wave or whatever. It's instead of Omicron, it's like a Megatron or something like that. And it's like, and it's like, dude, this Megatron stuff, it's transforming and it's not stopping, bro. So
Yo, Megatron.
and so basically what's going on is it has now originated in Canada, right?
Oh,
Because yeah, so the so you know how the first one starts in China, now it's starting on the other side of the world. Now it's in Canada,
so
the other
people need to
sea
be
country.
nicer. Or what's the
Well,
side effects?
let's just say that you violently cough up blood and have explosive diarrhea until you die.
Oh, the
It's
explosive
pretty
diarrhea
bad.
part doesn't sound that bad,
No,
but the
not
coughing
really.
up blood sound, it scares me.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so she
So
just told me, and we were in the room right now. Like, what if you're my teacher? Be my teacher.
yeah, so basically high
20,
class.
and I'm taking notes, and you just deliver the news to me right now.
Okay,
This
here's
is
the
how I would
deal,
play
you
it.
little pipsqueaks. Here's what's going on.
Mr. Kiswani, are we gonna have a test on the chapter 4 assessment guide?
Yeah, actually, I decided to make it chapter 5 anyway, so you're not even going to know what's on the
Okay.
test. But that's
I was
besides the
gonna
point right now.
say because I need
Uh,
to catch up on the 4th chapter, and I was
oh,
wondering if I'd have time to do that.
yeah, we actually switched books halfway throughout the year, so you're going to have to buy another $300 book just to take this class.
Okay. Do you know how?
Yeah.
Like, do you know like
Also,
where
I've
I
dropped
can?
you
Huh?
because you missed chapter 3. So you actually dropped from the class. I don't know why you're still
Okay.
here.
Do
You might
know
have to
like a
take that
way
up
I
with the
can make
dean.
up the dean? Do we have a dean? Do you know a way I can
Yeah,
get in touch with the dean?
I am the dean, but I
You are
don't
the
like
dean?
you, so I think this might be a problem. Anyways,
Okay, I just don't understand.
there's this whole
Is there a
new
way I
thing.
can
I
get
don't know.
my grade up?
So you're gonna have to be quiet because I'm gonna change the topic, and you're not the most important person in this classroom.
My hand is still up.
Well, let's just put it down for a second, and we can discuss this later. We got some bad news, guys. We got some bad news. Put your hand down, Christian. Nobody cares about what you have to say. Yeah. Anyway,
Put it on my phone.
yeah, you're
Get
just
mine,
like
go.
playing Game Pigeon or something.
Alright, go.
There's
What's
this new virus. It's not coronavirus. It's not Omicron. It's Megatron this time. It's pretty bad. And those vaccines you got, they don't do anything, just like they never did. And also, we got a bigger problem. Hand down. It starts in Canada, so it's not going around the world this time. It's actually just going to come straight down to the U.S. And there's a bunch of pigeons that are carrying this thing, and so all the pigeons are flying down here for I don't know what reason, and they're all swarming on Las Vegas right now. And they're swooping down, like pooping on everybody, and that gives them the virus. And so this is a pretty bad situation, and they're saying that we can't leave the building. I cannot let you leave this building, and we're going to have to quarantine altogether in here, and the United States is going to ship us supplies so that we can assist in this
That's
in this
good. So we
classroom.
were safe.
And then
We had
at that
protection.
moment, a bird flies in through the window, poops on your professor.
There's
and
no
now they
windows in
have
the
it.
classroom.
It literally bursts through the bricks,
No,
and
it's
then yeah. I mean, this is a steroid pigeon. It's been juicing its entire life. It's been surviving those like harsh Canada winters for years. I mean, this thing is.
When you say juicing, you mean?
I mean, it's been pumping iron, dude. This thing is
Oh.
not playing around. Like this pigeon doesn't wait for you to throw crumbs; it just eats your whole sandwich and then like starts pecking
All
you
right.
violently.
This is like it happens like that, exactly like that.
This is the Rambo of pigeons. You've met your match. I mean, you're screwed.
Okay.
It's flying around the room violently,
I
and everyone gets up and starts screaming. Now I leave it to you. And also, you can
okay.
see out the window because there's now windows that there's a bunch of pigeons flying around Las Vegas, just
Okay. I
swarming.
thought this was an economic thing. You're just talking about
Well, I thought I'd make it more poignant towards coronavirus, so I just
yeah.
decided to make up my own.
Well, I would run. I would get out of there first. I'd make sure that I'd log out of my canvas, my
Oh, and
computer.
also on top of that, the economy collapsed. He forgot to tell you that because I guess Wall Street just got completely demolished by a bunch of pigeons, and I mean,
Oh, jeez.
yeah,
All
all
right.
the
Well,
ports of entry to this country, San Francisco, Louisiana, New York. I mean, we're kind of screwed.
I would get out. I'd get my stuff. I just grab my phone and everything, and I would leave. I would just
Mhm.
leave. I don't know if I'd bring my backpack in the moment. I don't know if maybe I would just in the moment I would just leave everything.
Right.
You know, I would leave. So I would run. I would get out, doing a run. I run, open the door. And like, guys, run, run, run. And I'd run to the bathroom. I'd run to the nearest bathroom and close the door.
Okay.
Bam. Is this like a things happen as I go along game? Or is it like last time?
Well, last time it got pretty chaotic. Not gonna lie.
Okay, but the last time I was in charge.
Yeah, that is true. Okay.
All right, I'm in the bathroom and I close it.
So let's rewind some stuff then. Let's rewind just a bit, not much. Okay, so the murderous pigeon has not yet flown into the classroom. Your professor is still giving you some instruction, and they say, okay, so essentially there was a lab in Canada that just leaked this new Megatron virus, and it's highly contagious and people are dropping like flies for realsies this time. And because of this, a lot of the prominent figures in our countries in North America have been taken out, and there has been mass hysteria in the country, mass riots, mass protests, and overall civil distress in all major cities in the US, including Las Vegas. And it's basically anarchy. There's no top-down government anymore. It's been stripped away. And you have insomnia. And so...
Okay, you're boring. I'm gonna leave the class.
Well, the good thing is he just died, so...
What?
Yeah, because this is I went back a bit to do the spiel before the murderous pigeon flew in and then pooped on him and he died. So now we're back to that.
Okay, so I go back to the bathroom and I'd lock myself in. So at this point, I'm running out, and are there like pigeons like just flying in the building everywhere?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'd run to the bathroom. I would stay. Oh, because the plus. I would go to the bathroom, and close the door.
And that, like,
but then
would you
again,
have any
like
plan after that?
if they can smash through this brick,
Yeah.
then I don't know if I can, like a wooden door will hold them. So I would just, man, I don't know what I would do. I would, I don't think I'd have that much luck running outside.
If you could feasibly get back to your house unscathed, like the condo or something like that, or like let's just say
dorm. I can't get to the condo from my classroom.
Yeah,
my door. I can't do that, dude. That's like 30. It's to drive. It's 30 minutes away.
We did like a 6-hour hike. I think you can walk there.
Okay, but I'd have more luck trying to come here to my dorm that's on campus than go all the way. That's like over an hour.
Okay, how about I give you this? You can pick one destination to go to. And no matter what, your first destination that you pick, you will make it there unscathed. But after that, there's no promises. Right. So if you can pick one place to go to from your classroom that you know you can get to safe, where would you go? And what would you do once you got there?
Okay, well, I would try to pick a place that not a lot of pigeons go to. Maybe like a higher altitude, like a building, like a tall building. But then again, they could just go from the bottom and work their way up. So I have to get
like
somewhere.
Donkey Kong or something like that.
So I'd have to get somewhere where I would probably say my condo because it gives me enough time. It's like on the edge of Las
Dude, they would get
Vegas.
electrocuted.
Why?
Because your condo is freaking electric, dude. It would just shock all the pigeons when they try and enter.
Yeah. Okay, so on top of my electricity, I would just steal my parents' car and just get anything I need and just like dash out of there and leave as far as I can away, like even towards the mountains. I didn't see a lot of pigeons when we were on
That's
Red
very
Rock.
true.
So or the desert, because I don't when was the last time we saw a pigeon in the desert?
I haven't.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and we're basically in it. So if I could pick somewhere, you're giving me the rules. I go to my condo, give the car, and drive through the area that we walked, where it says one way, and now just keep driving and just keep going. But then I would be heading closer to Canada. So if I wanted to leave, then I'd have to go around
Yeah.
Nevada or go to Utah and work my way down to like Miami or something. But aren't there pigeons in Miami?
There's pigeons, I think, everywhere in the U.S.
No.
And
Okay,
Mexico.
the water, the lake. I would
Oh.
go to the lake, because pigeons don't float in the water, right? Like they don't.
Well,
When was the last time you saw a pigeon like in the water, like a duck? I've never
I
seen
haven't.
that.
No, I
haven't.
haven't either.
So I might go to lake, wherever the nearest lake is, and just go out there. What am I gonna do when I'm at the lake? Oh no.
Just hold your breath for like a few years underwater and wait for it to pass.
Okay, if this wasn't a hypothetical, and if this wasn't like a choose your own adventure thing, and if I just had to tell someone like what I would do,
Yeah.
I'd be like,
I guess
okay,
this is more what this is.
if that's what happened, I would, because depending on the conditions, like if it's pigeons and they're already here and they're super strong,
Yeah.
I would probably die anyway. I would get a bat or
yeah.
something. So I would, under those situations, I would try to, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean,
That's
I
a tough
guess
situation because
it is.
you
I
can't
kind of threw
outrun
it at
those
you.
compared to zombies.
Yeah. To
I'm
be
dead.
fair, we did kind of agree that it was going to be a bit more neutral, and I kind of did go a little crazy with that one. So that's on me.
The steroid pigeons. How can you escape that, man?
Yeah, you can. That's my bad. Okay,
Or-
well, I guess
okay,
I
I
guess
would
this
probably go
episode
there.
could be something more like surviving the apocalypse. What we would do if there was an apocalypse
Okay.
and we had to survive.
All right, let me
So-
flip it to you now.
Yeah,
My
let's do
turn.
that.
Adrian, let's do just a regular
Just standard apocalypse.
purge. Say if there was a
Purge, oh.
purge day.
Gotcha.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, that is.
I mean, a good idea for this situation.
I mean,
Oh, if someone's
compared to
gonna
the
quote
murder
me.
pigeons.
Someone's gonna quote me, and when they do an actual purge, like there was a guy at
Yeah,
UNLV who said that was a good idea, and they're gonna quote
and then
me.
you could and then your Instagram gets taken down, and you just lose your life.
Say there was a purge and it was happening. All crime was legal.
Okay.
All crime was legal for 24 hours. Where are you at right now in your room?
Mm-hmm.
And there was like, there was that thing where it was like, and it was basically saying, hey, purge time, baby.
Yeah.
Happening pretty soon. What would you do? You have 1 hour.
1
And
hour.
then purge time.
So you get a 1 hour. Okay. So, assuming that I got my whole family with me and all that stuff, and they're alerted to this as well, then what would probably happen, because I'm working with a family unit right now. But to make it a bit simpler, let's just say that I live alone for the sake of convenience, and what I would do. First of all, I would get in my car and I would probably load it with some essential tools or just very durable, non-perishable foods, because in all likelihood I could probably get that set up in like 20 minutes. And then at that point, where am I? I'm in the Central Valley, so I would probably end up driving east, further away from the Bay Area. I would try and get as far away from major cities as I could, because I know that's where the most chaos is going to go down, because that's where the highest concentration of people are. So I'd probably just take what I could with me, and because I know that if it's a purge, the house is probably getting broken into, so I don't want to be there. I don't have very viable means to defend myself at the moment, so I would probably just use the flee route where I try and get away from the conflict as far from it as I can.
Yeah.
And I'd honestly just try and drive closer to the Sierra Nevadas. I would try and just head that way because I know there's a lot less people in those areas and it's a lot more wooded. The elevation, the rockiness of it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
California is a pretty densely populated state, but not really in the east of California. The west of like the coast of California, that's where all the people are. You start driving inland and it becomes barren pretty quick. So, there's a good amount of California that's just not inhabited. I mean, I think about all the major parks here and stuff like that, national forests and stuff where nobody lives. I mean, I think it'd be a safe bet just to be out there, especially if this is just a purge thing where it's not indefinite and there's like a cutoff date. Then I would probably just drive out somewhere remote and basically camp or sleep in my car or whatever out there until the purge was over.
I think so that's you would put yourself out of that situation.
I would try and remove myself
where nobody would even want to go in the first place.
Yeah, well, if you think about the purge and you think about people's desires, you would see a lot of rape, you would see a lot of murder, and then you'd see a lot of theft, right? And all of those have to be where people are. You can't rape someone if there's no people. You can't murder someone if there's no people. You can't steal if there's nothing to steal, right? So if you go out into the wilderness where there's nothing to take, there's no one to kill, there's nothing really to happen. I mean, I'm not really worried about rape, but like anything like that,
I don't really care about
that. So I mean, yeah, I would basically just try and get out of highly populated areas, which is nice because I already don't live in a very highly populated place. Like where we live in the Central Valley, it's not too difficult to drive 40 minutes and be somewhere where there's very few people. Right. And even if the purge starts,
especially in Mountain House,
even if the purge starts when I'm on the road, if I have at least 40 minutes to get a little ways out there's probably going to be a lot fewer people who are actively trying to purge out there, because I imagine that a lot of the people who live in the Central Valley who have farmhouses and stuff like that, who have plots of land, they're probably going to be in the mode of defending instead of actually going out and trying to steal. I've noticed that in those like communities, neighbors know each other, everyone typically has guns out there. They're probably going to take the approach of like fortifying and just huddling down instead of actually actively going out and purging. I see the purging really happening in like major cities and towns and stuff like that, where there's there's less of that connection to your neighbor, because if you have a good connection with your neighbor, you're not going to go, oh well, it's purge, so it's more of a thing where I feel like if there's like an apartment complex, you're screwed. You know what I'm saying? Like if there's like layers and someone decides to start a fire on the first floor and you're up there,
you live in a good neighborhood too. Mountain House?
Mountain House is a good place. Yeah, it's
if you lived in like LA,
no.
Miami, New York.
No, not Miami. Yeah,
it's there even when purge isn't.
Yeah, no, like even,
just kidding.
They're basically in a constant. They're in a constant state of purge.
Every day. It's like every a weekday thing. It's like, yeah, what are you guys doing for purge?
I used to have a police scanner on my phone, and I download it from time to time to just have it. And I remember in high school I would have a police scanner, and I would just listen to it sometimes if I had any downtime. Instead of music, I would just be like popping it, listening to different
things happening.
See if there's anything happening. Like one time I heard about like an active shooter in like a school area, and I could hear the police talking about.
Now it's a real radio?
Yeah. And but one time there was this one female officer who I heard, and she was in Miami, and there was a woman who I was hearing on the radio was giving birth on the beach.
Hey,
and
nice.
The officer but it wasn't like she chose to. It's like she just went into labor on the beach, and then the baby started coming out. And so there's literally like officers screaming like, we see the head, like stuff like that. And I was just kind of in shock. And So yeah, Miami's kind of a wild
Bro,
place, but
that's that's the thing, man. Like when you give birth, the people have to know. Like that's what happens when you give birth. Like a baby comes out. Like,
yeah,
that's
but
the
I mean,
crazy thing.
yeah,
That's
that's
crazy.
wild.
You know, if you want to have a baby, you gotta expect the baby to come out. Like that's.
Yeah, I mean, we saw that in
Uh,
eighth grade in that Miracle of Life
ah!
video or whatever. That freaking scarred me. But yeah, that was fun.
Oh, you're right. Anyway, yeah,
Yeah, but
that's a
that's what
good
I would do.
plan. You
If
know what?
it's like a purge scenario, I'm just getting out of highly
Yeah,
populated areas, getting somewhere.
I'm honestly not surprised. But I think Adrian's the guy that I think you're. Let me make this right. I didn't realize how dark it was, but Adrian, when it comes to the purge, man, I'm not even worried about you, bro. I'm not even worried about you because you're just that guy that can take care of himself.
I try to be. I would be pretty worried in a purge though. I mean, I even just get worried at night. Like I remember there was this one time. I don't know if I've talked about it on the podcast or not, but there was one time where when I walked out of my room downstairs, you see right down the hallway. There's like a door that leads to the backyard.
Oh.
And I've told you this before, but one night I walked
Yeah.
out into the hallway and the door leading outside was just completely open in the wind, and it was pitch black out there, and it was like it was one of those situations where I was like, I didn't open this door. Everyone else is asleep, and so
Mm.
I'm definitely more like worried about stuff going down, which I think is why I think about it more. But
So how did it open?
the lock on it and stuff just didn't really
Bro,
work.
he's
Uh,
you see a guy just like leaving. He's like, sorry, I forgot to close this.
Yeah, well, that door always used to give us trouble. It used to just open, and so we recently,
Okay.
like literally just recently, got a legit lock and
You got
stuff
that
for
little
it. But
stand thing, huh? That stick or something?
yeah, we got a bunch of different things that on top of the lock keep the door closed.
Mm,
But
that's good, man.
yeah, I mean, if it was a situation where you couldn't leave and you just have to fortify your house, I think it's just one of those scenarios where it's just best to have a pretty protected house to begin with, so you're not trying to defend it when everything goes down. Like it's just
Hmm.
best to start off with having a fairly defendable
Yeah,
house
good
from threats,
foundation and everything. That's a good
Yeah.
point, man. Adrian,
What would you do
Adrian,
in an actual purge scenario
what
since
I
it's not
do?
murder pigeons? Yeah.
Murder pigeons. What would I do? Here's what I would do, Adrian. I would at least have one
Hmm.
intermission. And here's the
I like
intermission
that.
right now, folks. Yo! Ding, ding, ding.
I am about to legitimately attempt a world record, and you get to watch it. That was it. That was it. Clip the
Let's do that. Anywho,
Oh yeah.
hope you guys enjoyed that intermission.
Yep.
Real quick.
When we think about the purge, we think of that one. Did you see that one intermission that I did with the Ellison episode?
The intermission with the Ellison episode?
Yeah, did you watch
I
that
think
episode?
I did. Ellison talked about it. Ellison talked about it. Was it the one? Was it from the movie?
It was it was an Minecraft edit with Keanu Reeves.
I know he was like, there's something. He's like, yeah. He was telling me. Wait, hang on. Oh, I'll search it up later. But he was basically telling me.
Yeah.
We were talking about it, and he was like, dude. He was like, and Ellison talked. He's like, it's from that movie that you like, that you said that you and Adrian like.
Yeah.
We got what it was. I think he was talking about John Wick. I haven't. I know
Yeah.
because it was a 2-hour one. I think I only made it like an hour in.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'll have to double check. But he was talking about it, and I was remember saying about how I was like only like a few minutes away from the intermission, I think.
Mhm.
Or was it an hour? Was it more than an hour in, or was it 20 minutes in?
The intermission, it was not 20 minutes in. I think it was much longer
Okay.
than that.
It was okay. Anyway, well, I'll check that out. But Ellison, hey Ellison, how's it going, man? I wonder what Ellison would do in a purge, man. What
That's
I
a
would
good
do? What did I say? What did we leave off on?
Oh, well, what we were going to talk about after the intermission was we were going to discuss like just general ideas like to kind of I guess prepare for situations that might
Okay.
unfold. Like I guess
Yeah.
I'll ask you when when you end up buying your first house or something like
Yeah.
that, right? Obviously, you want to take just general precautions to make sure that it's difficult for just burglars to break in and that kind of a thing. But like,
Yeah.
what do you think are some things that you would personally do to whatever piece of property you buy to better equip you for a dangerous scenario that
just,
might unfold?
I would. So I think I would do the similar to Adrian. If I was in a purge, I would try to. I think I would just go where some place where there isn't like a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm in Vegas, so that's like the
It's
town
gotta,
go crazy.
Yeah.
So I would just.
Dude, Vegas is a purge, dude. That's what Vegas
is a purge city. Yeah. My first, if I had a house, what would I do? What advice would it just be me or I think regardless if you had a family or not, it's never a bad idea to just at least have a baseball bat.
Oh, for sure. Here.
Have a baseball bat, have cameras, have a security system. Hey, what do the police officers do during a purge?
That's a good question.
Do they just sit around?
Maybe. That might be, or maybe they just purge too. They're just like, that's screw it, They just like put the badge, they flip it over. They're like, not today, just.
No. It's always going to be a baseball bat.
Yeah, that's always good to get a baseball bat.
Like that one. Anything like that. Security cameras, rations, perishable food. I want to start having a backpack where I can just take on the go for emergencies.
I think I've talked to you about that, right? A go bag?
Yeah, you talked to me about that, where it was at least just like some first aid stuff, a shirt, pants, like a flashlight maybe. Just like something where if I had to go, I could make it go a few days with whatever is in my bag. Something warm, and just like something that's like the bare necessities. Wi-Fi, my Xbox.
Yeah, we call that a bob.
Yeah,
call that a bob.
That's everything that we need. No, I would take stuff that's absolutely necessary, and then, geez, like what? So I have to really put myself in the situation.
Yeah, I guess like
I would
if
just
you
have something
were
ready.
If you were just an married adult, and you've got a family and you're like just chilling on your property, just. What would be some things that would like give you a sense of security? Like, oh, I'm glad I have this, or I'm glad that I invested in something like this.
Locks. I think movie culture has made me appreciate having locks on the door and actually knowing how to use them.
Yeah.
Actually using the locks, that would be a good one. I would like to.
That'd be helpful.
Actually use them and not leave the door open all the time.
Yeah.
Locks. The one thing I really want to have is, Adrian and I were talking about this, just a bunker. Or if I had a basement, I would have a basement for the basement or something.
I like that.
Or I could just hide down there with my kids or my wife, and I would just hide down there and lock the door. Really like lock it and then just sit down there and just play games, tell each other secrets and stories. We might even want to not leave. Like we'll just stay down there the whole time. Like like it's so long. Like if a new family moves into the house and we're just like,
you're still just like chilling down there.
Yeah,
it's like that. It's like that movie you watched. Was it like called Old or something like that, where all the people become old on the beach or something?
Yeah. Oh, that movie was weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I think when you're in an apocalypse, the first rule for me. Always have a plan B and a plan C and a D, E, F, G. You can always have a backup plan.
Mm-hmm.
That's for me. Backup plan. Doors don't work. What do I got? Upstairs there's a basement. Okay, that doesn't work. I'm screwed. Backup plan. Have good friends that can protect me. Being at least make connections. Connections and be in a place where I know people can support me and be there for me. Right?
Yeah,
so it's gonna be pretty lonely. Right.
Yeah,
for 24 hours, but still.
I would say one of the best things you can do if there's ever like a bad situation that befalls your country or even just the world in general, I know it's more hypothetical when you talk about the world scale stuff, but like even if there's something going bad in your community, like during the riots that happened, was it last year or the year before? I forget.
No, the riots.
2020,
I think
right?
it was the year before. Yeah.
But just stuff like that where things are going a little bit crazy. I think the best thing that you can honestly have is like a solid network of like a community of people who, like everyone's on the same page with each other. Everyone's willing to help support and protect kind of each other if anything goes down, like, oh, I need some food or some resources, like, hey, I got you, I got some extras.
That's right.
I can, something like that, where, or maybe your location is compromised, right? Your house, you can't live in it for some reason anymore. Someone's like, hey, you and your family can come stay at my place, we got a place for you guys, just something like that. I think that having those connections is probably the most valuable thing to get you through something truly bad, because if it's really hard to handle tragedy and disaster on your own, and you have to just deal with that yourself. It's best to have a community of people,
especially if
there,
it's for something like the Purge or something.
Yeah.
Something like the Purge. So
or Megatron, and then like and then like the antidote is like Optimus Prime, It's like, we got the antidote. It's
I
Optimus
would
Prime.
I would need to have a talk with the person that named these diseases. Yeah, that's the first rule for me. Always have a good support group.
Yeah.
So I don't know how you want.
And that's applicable for a lot of things too. Just good to have a good support group as it is,
Yeah.
Like if you have like a solid group of like tight knit people who are like there for each other, I mean, that's just good no matter what, It doesn't have to be world ending,
You can do anything.
You can do anything.
That's my first rule. Have a good support group.
That you can do anything.
Anything you want. No limits.
I think that was actually a quote from Putin and what's the name of the leader of China? I keep messing up. It's not. Is that it?
China? No, that's Hong Kong. I don't know. No. Leader of China?
Yeah, I keep forgetting his name, but basically him and
Xi Jinping.
Jinping. Okay. Basically they were talking and people were making fun of him because he was like, our friendship has no limits or something like that, and they were like, whoa guys, keep that in the bedroom, they're like, chill out.
I mean, if you guys are close like that, I mean, why not, right?
I mean,
that's the first rule, Adrian.
First rule of Fight Club is you don't talk about fight. Anyways, yeah, I would agree with you. Yeah. I would say that first rules definitely have a solid network of people who you can trust, right? I would say trust is like the number one thing. And then second,
be good at something.
Second, I would say make sure that you know how to defend, like legitimately.
If you have a weapon,
know how to defend.
Know how to use the weapon.
Yeah, with a weapon, great. If you have a firearm, train with the firearm so that you know how to use it. If you're not fortunate enough to have that, then anything else really is great. But even apart from weaponry, which is good, right, would also just be to know how to defend using your own body, whether that be grappling or whether that be striking. Knowing how to actually control another human with your body, and subdue them. Because, I mean, we like to imagine that we'd have weapons in a dangerous scenario that unfolds. But the probability is that you might not always have one, when you need it. So it's great if you have one when you need it, but some people don't. So the best kind of foundational step, I would think, would be to make sure that you yourself can actually handle a confrontation, right? And the first bit of advice, if you're ever being confronted, would just be to run, right? Flee, as far as you can from danger so that you don't even have to deal with it. Because there's no point in needlessly involving yourself in danger where you could die or someone you care about could die. Like, it's best to just remove yourself from that environment. But if it comes to a point where you can no longer run and you're just like, okay, now we have to take care of some things. At that point, it's good to know how to physically defend yourself from a scenario, and then obviously having weapons is a big bonus to that. But I would just say be proficient in defending and just having good situational awareness and knowing what's around you, not being like just zoned into your own world. Like, make sure you know what's going on around so that you're not surprised when things come about, because a lot of threats are avoidable to the point where you can see them coming. if you were vigilant enough. But if you're not being vigilant, then by the time they come up to you, you're like, oh shoot, it's too late. I could have avoided this, but
Yeah, so be aware. Be
Yeah.
aware of everything happening around you. People are crazy. You know what? If this happened, if a purge actually happened, how confident are you in your ability to be okay for 24 hours?
24 hours. I would be, as far as like confidence in myself, I would say
Right now, wherever you're at right
65, 70% confident that I could get out of it just fine.
now. Okay. 75%,
because-
that's good.
65 to 70, I would say.
Okay. In
Yeah.
Mountain House, where you are right now?
Yeah.
Taco
Because
is
I have
not
to
100.
place some things into account because I do live in a safer neighborhood. But a lot of the houses that are in Mountain House, obviously, are quite wealthy. A lot of the houses here are expensive. A lot of the people who live there have nice cars, have quite a bit of extravagances, right? Like a lot, especially the newer homes in Mountain House are very expensive, and the people buying them obviously have enough money to buy those houses, and so they, generally speaking, are targets to be, obviously. Like I think in Wickland, right?
Yeah.
In Wickland, just this week, two guys were seen trying to convince someone to open their door and try and pretend like they were pizza guys from Domino's, but Domino's doesn't deliver to Mountain House.
They don't?
No. So basically, they were trying to pose as like Domino's pizza guys, like, we have delivery, open the door. And the lady was smart enough to not open the door for them. But like stuff happens to where people will try and take advantage of the safeness of the community and just assume, oh, no one expects anything's going to go wrong. So people aren't really in tune for that, because if you live in a bad neighborhood, you're at any time you open the door, you're going to be wary, right? But if you live in a safe neighborhood where nothing happens, you might be a bit more inclined to just say, oh, nothing happens here, it's fine, kind of a thing. So I think that's something that people prey upon when they know people live in a safe community, because no one's really expecting anything to happen. So
right.
I wouldn't want to give myself this false sense of confidence, like, oh, I wouldn't do anything stupid, because people do stupid stuff all the time, me included, right? So I wouldn't. Yeah, I would definitely be like wary of being in Mountain House. Again, my primary objective would be to get out, but you never know if you're going to get stopped on the road. If this is like a purge scenario, you don't know if there's going to be people who try and carjack you. Obviously, my car is a pretty simple car. It's not like a souped up car that can go super fast and maneuver and stuff. I mean, it's a commuter car, so it's not like I have like this truck that can like push people off the road and stuff. So, I would say like 65 to 70%. If I can get out of Mountain House, if I can get out of a highly populated area out on my own, and it's only 24 hours, my confidence would go up to like 80, 90%. But
really,
I would always leave that room for error, because I know I can make obviously a fatal mistake, and
you can always improve pretty much.
Yeah. And there's always that factor that you don't take into account, because you can be super solid as a person, but that doesn't mean that outside variables are going to be in your favor, right? There's always a chance that like some other thing can unfold that's completely out of your control, right? No matter how much planning you do, no matter how good you are at anything, there's always that possibility that something completely out of your hands can just happen upon you, and then it is what it is at that point. But
yeah, that's good that you're leaving room for error, because I might come to your house and be like, where's the money?
I'd be like, money. I don't have any up
right now. What would you do if I came in your house? I was like, Adrian, money now.
I'd be like, how much do you need? Like
all of it.
Dodge. Yeah, I would probably just well, just like Matrix, just go back like
in the face 10 times.
Yeah, that was my body double actually. I just like come out of the corner like from around and just well, if you shoot me 10 times, the mag capacity in California is 10, so you would
Extra
run out of bullets.
gun.
Dang it. All right, I'll give you that
Mine
one.
gun.
Mine gun.
There we go. If I came in, I was like, "Hey, I'm sorry to do this to you, man. I need all your food."
Oh, you can have the food then. I'll just go to Winko and stock up more. Honestly, like people like you, if you ever like, if there was a bad scenario and then you like came over and was like, hey, I need some help, I'd be like, yeah, dude, for sure. You know, like if you
It's
need
like,
a
hey,
place
man.
to stay, if you needed food, if you need money, yeah. But you know,
What
if,
if I
if
said, "I
you
need
if
$2
you
billion?"
come into the house guns blazing, you're like, hey, give me all your money. I'm gonna be like, sorry, bro. You know, those years have been nice,
What
but
if
you know,
I said, "Hey, I need $10 billion right now"?
talk to Elon Musk. I'm not that guy.
I feel like we've had this conversation before.
I feel like we have. Why do you think we've had that conversation? Like you robbing me?
What? No. Do I just casually mention like, "Hey, what would it be like if I robbed you?"
Like, well, shoot me 10 times.
You know, that's okay. And plus your dad and your brothers, I think in the area you guys live in, you know, I think you guys would be just fine. You guys
Well, I
would.
think if it was a family scenario and I wasn't by myself, then the highest priority would just be making sure my mom, like Myra, are all good, you know,
Mhm.
because that would be
Right.
like, that would be top priority. But, you know,
Mhm.
if, because the trouble is, it's hard for me to make calls on what I would do if it was a family unit,
Mhm.
because at that point it wouldn't be on me. My dad would be the one who'd be like leading the family to where we would go. So it's not like I would be the
Sure.
one saying, "Okay, guys, we're going here now," and it's like, well, you know, I'm the kid in the house, right? So
Mhm.
it's not
Right.
like I would have that much say in what goes on. But
Right. How,
yeah,
yeah, you know,
obviously,
taking on that role of like looking after your family, and that's the thing. If you like have like connections like that, it's gonna be a little bit harder to manage because you're always gonna, depending on your relationship, you're always gonna worry about how they're gonna do and making sure they're okay. Because it's easier if it's just you, because you don't have to worry about as many people. But
yeah, that's the thing,
shoot,
and
man, if
it's
it happened right
easier.
now,
Yeah. Oh
yeah,
shoot. Yeah, but I
if
mean,
it's yeah,
if it was you and you were like the head of your household, right? You're already married with kids, and you were making sure that you were in charge of your family, making sure everything's good. That's one thing, because then you have the ability to say, okay, this is what we're doing. This is where we're going.
mm,
This is what I've set up. This is what I planned, you know. And then your wife and your kids are
mm,
all on board because you've led them properly, and you're like, okay, we're all good, right? And you're taking care
mm,
of them. But the difficult thing is when you're like in our transitionary phase of like from adolescent to adult, you're still like you're becoming autonomous, you're becoming independent, but you still have those things
yeah,
that are kind
there's
of,
still that.
there's still that like level of support there that you kind of need to get rid of before you can actually say, okay, now I'm going to make this decision that's like
Mm,
purely mine, you know. And
yeah.
especially if stuff goes down, then you're kind of stuck being under the authority of whoever's authority you're under, right? Like if you
Mm,
if you were living in Mountain House with your parents, right? Basically whatever John said would go if you guys were in that scenario, you know what I'm saying? So it's like,
mm, yeah.
actually, John would be able
Chucky.
to handle business in the apocalypse. I think.
Yeah, I'm not worried about him.
Yeah,
He can handle stuff. Be like, all right,
yeah.
do your thing. I'll be in my room, playing my
He
guitar.
just leaves you there.
Ding, 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 ding. While I
You
just
go.
hear like shooting sounds downstairs.
You like go on beat with the
Yeah.
bullets, you know, like
Do, 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 do,
yeah.
do, do.
What if,
Yeah.
what if you like all the stuff was going down, you know, you and your parents are like in the house, and then you say, okay, I'm gonna go grab my stuff real quick, and then you come back downstairs and no one's there, and the cars are gone, they just dipped.
I would be like, I'd call them. I'd be like, hey, what's up?
What if they just like they pick up but they don't say anything and then they hang up on you and they just like,
Call them again because I'm sure it was an accident.
and then it's not an accident because they just left you, bro? What do you do?
Well, I have to call her and I would say, hey, mom, where are you guys?
Yeah, they don't answer.
All right. Well, I'll go over to my neighbor Brent's house because he's a Marine and
Nice.
he knows how to handle business. Brent, and he would let me in and he would protect me. And
Nice.
yeah.
Playing this smart.
Or I
Like,
would just stay. I would just stay home and just watch movies or just like whatever offline movies I have, and they just come and he's like, hey, give us
Even
a
during
movie.
the
I'm like, yeah,
apocalypse,
it's in
you'd
the
still be
kitchen.
pirating movies.
Yes. Yeah.
It's like that's the
Dude.
baddest thing you can do in an apocalypse. Instead of like breaking it, you're like, I'm gonna pirate this movie, guys.
If they came in, it was like the situation like Mr. Positive, and they're like, hey, give us your money. And it's all just, it's like a little party.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, hey, glad you guys could make it. Leave your shoes at the door. We're just about to go play Monopoly. Let's go play. Dude. All right. And then they walk in. He's like, what's going on? Give us all your money. We're stealing your house. And I'm like, oh, if you want to steal my money, you got to pass go. Oh,
Wow.
let's go. You guys want something to drink? Yeah. And he's like, what? Like so confused. And then one guy's like, oh, but I want to play. And the other guy's like, no, wait, we're here to rob this guy. He's like, all right, come on, let's just play a game. I'm glad you guys could make it. Did you bring your wife? And he's like, oh, no, she didn't come. He's like, stop asking questions about a phone. Like, we're saying we're robbing, we're to kill you if you don't kill us. He's like, oh, okay, let's go, dude. You guys like 70s music? I'd be like, oh yeah, I love 70s music. It's like, no, we like 70s music. Get on the ground. She's like, whoa, yeah.
Nice.
You know.
Yeah. I see that.
Yeah.
Kind of. A little bit. Not really. But you know, I mean, hey, if it works, it works, right?
you know what I'm saying, Adrian?
I think I try. I try.
That's how I would have.
I really do.
I think we watched a Key and Peele episode, and in the episode, like these two people were getting hostage by a killer clown, and they were just these most optimistic people in the world, and we were just talking about scenarios. It would be funny because it's
like
funny.
if you were being
like
tortured and they bring out a
be,
device, it's like that is a great choice.
that is
fantastic.
Cool, like that's the way to go.
Like they pull out these like huge pair of pliers or like that DeWalt pliers. That is a great brand. That absolutely, you know. I like to imagine that.
Oh, he's about to cut off his left arm. He's like, finally. He's like, you know what? I never really needed it anyway.
It's like it's been weighing me down, man. It's like, you know.
He's like circle of life, man. Dude, that would be so funny to make. But that's our tips.
I think that we wanted to make that video before. We should do a video.
That's
like
what I was
that
saying.
Someday.
We talked about making something like that because I think that would be funny, and just each episode features a different friend of ours, like Tucker and Nick.
Yeah.
Gosh, that would be funny. Awesome. Like, how would you be positive to someone that said, I'm about to shoot you in the head?
Thank God, now I won't have to wear glasses anymore. They won't fit, you know, because the head will be all distorted and stuff.
I think there's just a fine line between that and just like playing. I think there's not even a line at all where you just have no sense of danger, like whatsoever.
Oh yeah. But I think it's also good because obviously the torturer is gonna want like a visceral response from you, and so if you don't provide that response, like, oh, this guy sucks. he's boring, you know.
He's like, oh, it tickles. Imagine getting shot in the head and be like, oh. Ooh, ow.
You just get back up again. You're like, oh shit! You try putting it back on, you know.
That was a good one, man. Nice shot, bro.
Well, I know, dude.
That was a good topic.
You have to be somewhere at 7, right, or something like that.
Well, that's what I was saying. Yeah, but I still have to go to my room later on and get some stuff. But
okay,
it's still recording, right? Oh, it is still recording.
Yeah.
I thought you stopped recording.
No.
But anyway, yeah, I think I don't
Solid
have any
topic.
more. That was a good stuff. Thank you to our publicist for giving us that topic.
Mm-hmm.
The main thing, Adrian, top 3 right now. Me first.
Yeah, go ahead.
Make connections. Be good at something, a weapon where you can defend yourself or something, or you know. Mine is make connections, be good at something, and always have a backup plan.
Yeah, those are also. I would agree with those. Okay. Mine would be very similar. It would be make sure that you have good connections. You have a good solid group of people that you can count on and trust. And then also make sure that you can defend well, and then also be aware of your surroundings and just have general situational awareness, small scale and large scale, just so you know what's going on around you so that you can make decisions, you know, with discernment, you know, and make sure that you know what's going on, because it's hard to go in the right direction if you don't know what path you're on. You don't know what's going on around you. So yeah.
Yeah,
that'd
for
be
sure,
my top
man.
3.
I think if you guys are wanting to prepare for the apocalypse, I think out of the two of us, Adrian's the one. Adrian's the guy that you want to talk to because he can lay waste, you know.
Lay
He
waste.
can wreck stuff up.
We're gonna crack some skulls, you know. Just cracking skulls.
No. If you guys have any
Anyways,
advice on
yeah,
how to survive the apocalypse, let us
please
know.
leave it in
Hashtag
the
comment
comics.
below. # hashtag ampersand. I made it this far in the video, and I can't wait for the apocalypse to happen because I am going to be super great at this, and it's going to be super duper awesome. And we will let you guys. We will
Yeah.
comment. We'll shout you guys out. We'll shout you guys
Yeah,
out.
we will. Definitely. And I think we're gonna try and have a guest on next week. So stay tuned for that episode. We're gonna try and have a guest. Might be new, might be a reoccurring guest. By the way, it's gonna be a good episode.
No.
And yeah, that's what we got for you guys. Of course, we do have the verse of the day, so we're gonna go with that right now. Verse of the day is Hebrews 11:6, and that's gonna read, "But without faith it is impossible to please him. For he that cometh to God must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him." And so, I mean, it's a pretty straightforward verse. You know, if you can't please God, what he's saying here is that you can't please him without having faith. You know, it's impossible to please God without faith, which is a pretty strong statement. If God's saying something's impossible, you know, I mean, that's a pretty big statement. So if he's saying it's possible to please him without faith, that means it's important for us to obviously have faith in his word, have faith in him. And, you know, and obviously at the end of the verse there, it says that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him. So if you diligently seek after God, you diligently seek after his word, you're diligent about the things of God, then he's going to reward that behavior in you. He's going to reward the faith. He's going to reward your diligence in seeking after him, right? The Bible says, you know, seek ye first the kingdom of God, and all these things shall be added unto you, you know? So that has to be the top priority in anyone's life, basically. So
that's good.
Yeah. There's
good that. Bible verse, Adrian.
And so, yeah,
good one.
That's all.
Well, you know, hey, Adrian, thank you so much for talking with me about that.
Yeah. Thanks for talking too, because we don't have any friends.
We have friends.
Yeah.
Hi, Mom.
Sorry, guys. We just need to take a moment here on the podcast to gather ourselves. Also, check out this huge lighter. Like, have you ever seen a lighter this big?
Oh my
God. It's so crazy, dude.
What the heck? Where'd you get that?
See, like, it's wild, right?
I
just have it. Like, it's huge, dude. Like,
where did you get that?
But I mean, it's pretty cool, right? I mean, look,
where'd you get that?
Like, you can even change
for
the
a lighter.
that's
still a small flame. Make it the biggest as possible.
Unfortunately, this is like the biggest it gets.
It's not even a big flame.
Yeah, it's kind of.
Where'd you even get that?
I wish it was a bigger flame. My dad just handed it to me one day, and I didn't ask questions. But you know,
did you have that before you came down here?
Oh yeah, I did. I've had it for over a month, I think. It just sits there on my desk.
Cuckoo.
But
I don't even. If you guys want to know where Adrian got that, let us know.
I want to know too. I don't know where it came from.
I don't know who it. I mean, that's cool if you can make that. Just buy big everything. But yeah, as always, everything's down below, guys. Reach out to us, comments, questions, concerns. If you want to be on the podcast, something you want us to talk about, something you don't want us to talk about, something you think you might not want us to not want to maybe talk about, or if you guys just want to say hi, what's up, things we can improve on, anything, even if you just want to say hi.
Yeah, honestly.
anything at all. We're gonna have one day. We're gonna be big and have like 10 million subscribers, and still be like, anybody, just forget about them. He's like, oh my gosh, I love you guys. Like, anybody, please.
Anyone, please, just reach out. Yeah.
Anybody out there, please.
Good times.
I think I just dabbed myself.
Yeah.
Anybody out there, you know, just I think good times, because my battery's almost dead. It's okay. We still have some time, but I just want to say thank you so much for listening to the Art of Awesomeness podcast. Tune in next Sunday. We'll be here. Any questions? Let us know. Guys, we love you. Thanks for listening. To our listeners out there, if you need anything at all, let us know. Everything's down there. 55 Pure website. 55 Pure or our 55 Pure. You can find
55
us on
Pure.
the
Yeah.
55 Pure website. Check out what we're about. People have been on in the past and kind of our affiliates. Adrian did a good job with that website. So check it out. But until next time, folks, I'm Christian Caito.
I'm Adrian Kiswani.
And thank you guys for listening to this podcast that we were talking together on tonight for you guys.
Basically. Yeah. Wow.